So Kobbie, Boateng, Mainoo, one of the best debutants in the English Premiership this season so far. The young defensive midfielder also got his first English caps recently, and he's been on the tongues of a lot of analysts, a lot of coaches. Will this youngster become a legend like the likes of Clarence Seedorf he's been compared to, or is all the hype going to get to his head and drop him down dizzy like the other Mainoo Academy prospects we've seen over the years not really reach their potential? Today, we make a tactical analysis of the young British-born starlet. So Kobbie has proven he does have a sight for goal, but from the numbers, we don't have a lot of goals to go by. He scored in the Prem, he scored in the FA Cup, he scored in the FL Cup, but clearly you can see that when he's taking up against the likes of Rodri, the likes of Cole Palmer, and most of the midfielders in that item, his numbers do tend to be on the lower side. I also think it's due to his experimentation in position. You've seen him playing a bit deeper, like when he was playing Everton. But in other games, like in the AFL Cup or in the FA Cup, you saw him push up a bit more and be more of a goal threat. Kobbie makes less attempts than most midfielders in that list, but is a lot more accurate. So doing the eye test, besides his height, you can see that Kobbie is one to also convert on heading, which is actually showing that he puts a great initiative into making those attempts. You're also going to see that though he does have his stronger right foot, he's not shy to make attempts on his left. He's going to come in, try and close the distance between himself and goal, and try for accuracy. I have to point out, I think that Kobbie doesn't much employ power. Like for his build, I've seen him, as you've all seen him, like you see footage here from when he was with the youths. He's been growing in body stature, and I expect him to put a lot more power in. Accuracy, yes, but he could improve on employing more power. We say that his stronger foot is the right. He's going to be there in the golden zone, making those little finishes. Again, you're not going to see an emphasis of power. You're going to see more going for placement, technique, biomechanics, his posture. You can clearly see that he's in shape, young midfielder, young goal threat. You see, he's very alert, picking up on the rebound, cool as you like. I think he makes up for power right now with composure. He doesn't lose it. For such a young prospect, I think maybe even in the transfer market, though I don't think United will be letting him go anytime soon, he's going to breach that $120 million threshold. In terms of composure, in terms of technique, in terms of knowing positioning, I believe we have a legendary midfielder to fill in the shoes of the likes and legends of like Paul Scholes. Guys, as a side note, do spare a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, it helps a lot. If you don't like this one, hopefully you subscribe to the next one if you like it. Now, back to the analysis. So since there's been some comparison to Clarence Seedorf, the Milan, Real, Inter legend, we're going to be taking a look at how he played his game and seeing, contrasting even some sections of his game that really haven't been close. Maybe I feel that Kobbie could improve. I think he has potential to finishes clinically, to have those spectacular finishes, because I've clearly seen that he can wrap his foot around the ball. Some of those finishes he has, Seedorf is both. He has power, he has placement. Now if you look at here, we're emphasizing on him running down defenders, using his strength, the same Kobbie has, and doing those finishes. He's steady, doesn't fall over. As I've seen Kobbie develop, come into his body, I think he has the capacity to get here, and as you see that, he also has a lot of accuracy, as we've seen there before when we're looking at his shots per 90. I think this is an aspect of his game that he could get in and actually learn from Clarence Seedorf. I really haven't seen these types of finishes in his draw, but I believe he can add them and actually reach that. I'm not sure Kobbie is going to get to the point where he can do these legendary range finishes, but you can clearly see Seedorf was a master striker of the ball from way out. Hit the ball, put swerve on it. I mean, it's the stuff of legend. Across his career, you'd see him there lining up And the other thing was, whenever Seedorf played like this, either he struck the ball or he was going to do a smart little assist. I think he was just terrifying when you found him at the edge of the box. These are areas that Kobbie actually gets into usually when he comes in from a central position. It really doesn't come in from the flanks, but I also believe we're still seeing him evolving, and with a great manager like Ten Hag and whoever else comes in at Mainoo can clearly get the best brains. I believe we're going to see someone who's going to come up close here. The biomechanics Kobbie has, I believe that he has the capacity to get here, especially when he comes into his body. He started at a very high level, at 18, already starting England, Mainoo. As he develops his physique, I think he's going to get here. It was the professor. There you see the professor. That's the standard at which we want Kobbie to reach, which I believe has the potential to get. So Kobbie's been getting a lot of praise from Southgate with England, and clearly he's one of Ten Hag's favourites, being a regular starter now. Now, if you see what I was pointing out, Kobbie is going to be at the edge of the penalty box. Yeah, sure, he's assisting, but I believe with a bit more confidence, he could be trying those range shots we saw from Seedorf. Like, he lingers in those areas, then he tries to pick out someone. I believe if he invested like a bit of practice into range shooting, curling, he'd make attempts and actually have conversions from those positions. I think he scored against Wolves, though from such a position, though he did come in a bit closer. Here, he wasn't confident enough to try. We've seen Seedorf do. Of course, it's click here and go, and you'd say maybe he's making better decisions. But I believe with a bit of confidence, he'd be striking those like the professor himself. So the next aspect of Kobbie's game to look at is his assist game. So in the British top flight, Kobbie is yet to register an assist, but in his time with the youth clubs, you can see that relatively his numbers were not so bad. I think he'd be chasing the likes of Cole Palmer, but I don't know if he's going to be given that much free room. But I do believe he tends to be more creative than the likes of McAllister, or at least that's my view. Now, from the eye test, we're mostly working with footage that we have from his days with the youth. You see that he's closing down, picking teammates, drawing defenders to himself. What you can clearly see that is the young man is not selfish. He has that vision, that great visionary awareness, and can make those decisions in split seconds. He's very lethal. If you see him there in the final third, I do believe with his range of passing, he does make long passes. We'll take a look at that later, but for the most part, he's doing short to medium passes and he's converting. He's going to be more of a threat, coming in from more of a central position. In the half spaces, it does come through on either wing here and there, but you clearly see that he's more of a direct play, short passer of the ball. Now, I've already talked about his physical development. Now let's take a look. We're first going to take a look at the discipline of his game. He makes a lot of challenges for the ball. He does draw not too many offense cards, and you also see that the number of fouls is relatively low, even though he does body check people here and there. He seems to do it within the limits of the game itself, and especially for a younger man like that. Even the number of fouls that are called on him, he has a physical presence. It also reflects in his recovery rate, but I believe it's going to be this aspect of his game is going to improve over time. So going with the eye test, you can clearly see that Kobbie can stand his ground. They see him in the international English game, and when you find a player who can clearly do it there, those little turns, putting himself between the opponent and the ball, not showing the defender or the opponent midfielder or whoever is challenging him anything, that little arm there within the limits. It's all, he's got that quick turn of pace, rides those challenges. He's not afraid to get physical. Now, I think, like I've said, we've seen footage when he was with the younger guys. He's growing and coming into his body, and he's clearly confident about it at the big stage, whether he's playing internationals or that time you saw him when those guys were playing Liverpool. You can clearly see that he's right up there. Let's take a look at the youngster's ball carrying abilities. So no one has more touches in the defensive penalty area than the young Kobbie Mainoo, and we've seen him make clearances, get United out of a difficult position. Elsewhere, as you see, maybe in terms of experience, you can see that his numbers are not as good as the likes, for instance, of Rodri in terms of actual carries, or Declan Rice he's actually at the bottom of the pack in that regard, even the total distance with which he's moved with the ball. I also see even his progressive distance. I also see that, and maybe make concessions to say he's still young, he still needs a bit more game time. He will reach those elite levels. The pinnacle is Rodri, PA is maybe Declan Rice, but I believe that he does have what it takes to improve that aspect of his game on a stats basis. Or I also want to mention that in the final third, he has less touches. Maybe, as we've seen from the eye test, I believe those touches are less, but they're lethal. That's where I think the comparison comes with Seedorf. So from the eye test, positional awareness, you see him relieving pressure, opening up a passing lane, there, avoiding his marker, the composure, under pressure, Liverpool match. You can see Mainoo go against some of the fastest midfielders and high line pressers and just beat them there and draw them and find openings. You see, he doesn't have that actual assist, but when he just turns and moves, he creates so much pressure. It creates tense situations that you really don't want to be facing him. There, again, Liverpool, outstanding. There with the national team, trademark turn, like Seedorf, quick feet, nimble feet. I believe that this guy is going to be a legend. Mainoo is just graduated so fast. It's just been like that instant porridge. Those little interchange, quick little dribbles that puts him past strikers when he's relieving pressure or puts him past defenders when he's heading for goal. I believe just in the next couple of seasons, this guy is going to reach legendary status. And the calmness, the composure, whether he's relieving a defensive item or he's trying to slow down the tempo of the match, like there you see him. Kobbie is elite. He's just world class. If you saw him combining with Bellingham, that's going to be a World Cup winning duo, I believe. Now, employing our yardstick again, Clarence Seedorf, you can clearly see that he was able to shield the ball, quick feet to that little cut back, leaves the striker stranded there in his own, relieving defensive pressure. We've clearly seen similarities with Kobbie Mainoo. That little push there, this guy was the master. Like, you also see again there in a multiple challenge situation, just eases, runs through. We haven't seen Kobbie have that power to run through like that because of the formation of Mainoo, which is a bit of a set midfield, but you can clearly see that on multiple challenges, his distribution. I believe Kobbie has what it takes to reach that level, and especially if he's given that role to be able to really cut through the middle, really not have a limited role like he had when he was playing, for instance, that match with Everton, where he has to sit back and just supply, let the likes of McTominay roll. On a dribbling level, quick feet, I think they have the same type of thing. I don't know if he's going to have as much longevity as Seedorf, but clearly the standard is there. If Kobbie has access to this, I believe he has the potential to reach it. He has that confidence, the same cool, calm, and collectedness. See, just a maestro. Deep-lying playmaker, just above the defensive line, just behind your number 10. Physicality, pace, the arrogance, the confidence to be able to stop, be able to turn back and progress, like own the field. They challenge the defense. He have that ball control, little assist. I believe he does have it stacked up against him, but Kobbie's shown confidence. I believe you get there. Now, in terms of shielding, taking a look at the Professor's game, Seedorf again was more of also using his body, also using, especially when he was a lot older, he wasn't depending on much pace. He'd grown into his body, he was a bit slower. But if you see him in his younger days, he'd really dribble, he'd really leave defenders having to pull him back and stuff like that. I believe Kobbie's shown that he's actually got the same flair and the same energy, not the same dependent on stockiness, but nimble feet. See him owning Alves and Messi there, almost coming up with an assist. Then in this match, you see him again versus Barcelona, like call the ball to himself, draw the attackers there, passing lanes been closed, he changes, switches, that little... Yeah, I believe Seedorf was the thing. Kobbie has it stacked up, but he can get there. So the deep lying playmaker, that's the next aspect of Kobbie's game and his strength that we're going to be taking a look at this time. Depending on whether the team is pressing a lot and the position is playing, which is mostly deep, Kobbie sees a lot less of the ball as compared to the likes of Declan. Now, because we've seen more of his defensive touches at the back, I'm sure you can clearly see in the sparks we've seen ahead, the stats here tell a limited story. In this aspect, I prefer to go with the eye test. You can clearly see picks his position there, beats a press, passing lane closed, he makes great pass under. In the next clip, passing lanes closed, he relieves pressure, still great outcome. I think it's an advantage to have him play, like essentially with Onana playing out the back. You see those few touches actually turn into a potential assist for Garnacho. There you see him again at the back, go through, build but from the back again. Like we've said, he's confident, he's a great ball player, he doesn't lose the ball, he puts in a shift. See, he stretches, he's nimble. He's just what you need. And I think he also doesn't take out much momentum from a game, even like though you do see him do turns to scope out. Maybe a few seconds are lost there, but his vision. If he improves on his passing game when he does do those little turns from opponents, I believe that is going to be very much lethal. If he's going to get to the same level and maintain it with age like Seedorf, I still am confident of that. Accuracy, see him linking up with Ivan Toney. Like, I believe he's in the right space in England, playing with Toney, pacey player, great ball control. Mainoo can play into him, as well as we've seen him combining with Rashford and Wan-Bissaka, even Højlund. He's in a great space. Up there again with the big boys, you can clearly see that Kobbie is confident with his take-ons, his carries. It's too lower, like we said, than the other veterans like Rodri. But you can also clearly see from the numbers that he's not bad at receiving or giving the ball. In terms of his linking up, in terms of his pass accuracy, I believe that Kobbie is elite. You develop. The numbers don't really paint a clear picture. They do give you some sort of insight, but with experience, I believe Kobbie will show that he is what it takes to be elite. So when we're just going to be checking, you're going to see there, Kobbie, he just drifts off his man, goes through, he knows where he is. Pass accuracy in that high pressure situation. There you see him charging at goal, more on the right side, linking up, running into space, receiving. Those quick interchanges, that's what show you that Kobbie is confident up front. If he's going to roam and not be the deep lying protection at the back there, you see him there in this capacity, actually leaving that position and going forward. There you see him come through, just be that extra man. You see him go through there with the English on national duty, creates that situation that turns into a penalty. You can also actually see him taking a look at the field to see where is who. There runs into that little space. He takes out 4 men in one move, 4 experienced, grown midfielders and defenders. There, that situation, setting up the cross into a goal. Like, he doesn't have those assist numbers, but from the eye test, you can clearly see how critical he is in the middle to final third, and that builds up in offending in an offensive capacity. So in a defensive capacity, press, tackle, block, let's see how he stacks up. So Kobbie does most of his tackling in the defensive to middle third. He does try to recover the ball higher up the pitch, but for the most part, he's doing it in the lower item. You can see that his numbers are not way off the pace of veterans like Declan or Rodri, although he does seem to come a bit lower than Alexis McAllister. The youngster does kind of shine up there, just coming shy of Declan Rice in terms of braving blocks. We've seen him use his head, use his body. He's like a soldier for United. In that regard, his numbers are impressive, and I believe over the years, it's only going to improve. So from the eye test, you're going to see the athleticism and keenness. See him running back, closing down there against Everton. See him running back, just picking the pocket of the striker there, just putting in his foot and stamping his authority. There, you see him come up with that block, puts his head in. Not afraid to put his head where it hurts, just for the team. This is the sort of defensive midfielder you need who can be able to drop in and assist the back four. You see him covering KDB there, pocketing for the most of the match. I think you even saw KDB actually being subbed off that Man City versus Mainoo game. There you see him tracking his man just in front of the back four, twisting, turning, pace, not having any of it. See him there, cut out that passing lane, actually turn it into a composed pass. There you see him also make for that ball there and get through. There you also see him there cutting out that cross from your Iwobi. Just composed, deals with the danger, cool as you like, no drama. There again, putting in a block, his head where it hurts. The next aspect of Kobbie's game I wanted to take a look at was his interceptions, specifically. So the stats here say that only Declan Rice and McAllister intercept better than Kobbie. Like, Mainoo has the ability to read the game clearly at the levels, just like Declan. I think with experience, he's going to get his numbers up there. I think in this aspect of his game, his average actually pulls him ahead of Palmer and Luiz. Maybe these are more offensively minded, but I believe that he's already a grade higher than them in this capacity. So from the eye test, you're going to clearly see that there he is coming up with the block. See him there, goal line clearance. He puts in a defensive shift. There you see him again. There, that interception disrupting the flow of play, just there in his own defensive third, coming up, helping the defensive midfielder. There you see him making an interception, dispossessing Iobi, making that pass, being a goal threat. Now, there you see again, reading that pass, gets it, quickly transitions to attack. The maturity on the young man is something to actually behold. There, making that interception, coming away with it, leaving it for the number 10 to go through. There you see him against reading, intercepting, making that interception again, double. He doesn't run out of steam. There, anticipating that run by Diaz, gets the ball, plays it back to his ball playing keeper Onana. I think there's going to be memories for these guys. See him there making that interception again. So the next aspect of his game to look at is his long passing. How does he do it? So the stats point out that Kobbie isn't Rodri or Declan in this regard. Maybe it's also its style of play. He doesn't attempt a lot of these long passes. He prepares to run through the field like prime quick Seedorf, as we've seen the likelihood. He goes through, but his accuracy isn't bad. He hits the 50s, the Rodgers hits the 8s, they hit 10s, he hits a 1. If the strategy is to play long, possibly his numbers will increase, will improve. We're going to have to depend on the eye test to actually see the quality of the balls he strikes to make a complete assessment. I think the thing to take away is he doesn't disrupt flow of the game, tries to set up a teammate, doesn't go well here, hit sweetly, team is in transition to attack, strike winger has to run onto it. There, that's more of a shorter pass, but maybe in the long, the biomechanics of it gives it leverage, striker runs onto it, registers an assist. I believe in terms of technique, if he's called upon to do it, Kobbie is able. Even in a high press situation, you see him there, switch play along the wing. There you see him make that, switch the flank. His accuracy is on point. See him play that into the path of Rashford. There, see him from way back in the back four. Technique is there. Actually set up a situation for Sancho there. There, Mainoo again, outside of his boot, audacious like Seedorf. I believe if he's called upon in a game, if their gameplay supports it, he's able to. That one was a bit loopy, caught onto the wind, had to be waited for, took out momentum from the game. But for the most part, he hits them right, like this one. His accuracy is also proper, leans back. Proper Mainoo or professional club academy. Whoever was coaching did a great job. And the talent is also kicking in. no doubt, if it's called upon, strategy, it'll work. Now let's take a look at how Seedorf did it, and if Kobbie has anything to learn. There, you see him there, switch it up, same technique, body wrap around. Maybe Kobbie has been watching. There, shifts it to the winger, no loss of momentum there. That turns into something for the striker. Biomechanics, the accuracy is very similar. I believe Kobbie is at this level. Well, the next aspect of the game that we're interrogating is Kobbie's aerial skill. Like we said before, he can use his head, he's not afraid. Let's look at the stats. So Kobbie is winning a lot more duels than Tola Palmer, but he's not as good as Rodri. Better than Declan. He's decent. In terms of actual numbers, he's doing less numbers than Declan and Rodri. Maybe it's because Casemiro takes some of the load in mid and the likes of Varane do the rest in the defensive line. So taking a look at the eye test, there you see Kobbie has direction, knows where to put the ball out. He's instinctive, cool and calm as you like. There, not afraid to actually block the whole shot. Needing medical attention, closer to the middle of the park, winning a duel. Shielding, that's his technique. He does that. There you see him. He shields, he puts his head first, makes it a pass. The confidence on this player. There, he actually leaps up, not lazy. See him there, challenges for it. His strength helps out. You're going to see this from the likes of Seedorf. Chest and turn, pass. Typical trademark. Also going to see it of Drogba. There, goes through, ball control. There's Kobbie, the confidence, chest down, pass. There, eye on ball, little tiptoe pass. There, stands his ground, keeps the ball under control. There again, brings it under control, juggles it away. As cool and calm as you like. There, chest down, pass. Chest down again. The boy flexes, but he knows what he's doing. So guys, it's been Nuance Sports, an assessment of Kobbie Mainoo's game. The youngster is definitely as calm, composed as he is in the interviews, and I think we can expect more of him. So do like, share and subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you on the next one.